It seems like every parent I talk to wants to give their kid an edge in education,
Yeah.
but there's just so much out there. It's like, how do you even know where to start? We're going to try to figure some of that out today with this deep dive into this program called Synthesis. And it's got a pretty interesting origin story. It actually came out of an experimental school over at SpaceX.
SpaceX, the rocket company.
That's the one. And they're claiming that synthesis can rewire how kids think, not just teach them facts,
Yeah.
but fundamentally change the way their brains work.
Rewiring how they think. That's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah, so I thought maybe we could unpack that a little bit. You've been looking into synthesis. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. So synthesis actually has two different tracks. You've got synthesis teams, which is for kids ages 8 to 14. And then there's synthesis tutor, which is for the younger ones, ages 5 to 11. But they both have this common thread of focusing on skills that aren't always emphasized in traditional classrooms. Things critical thinking and problem solving and collaboration.
Yeah. It's funny because those are the things that we as adults use all the time, but they don't always teach you that stuff in school.
Huh.
So let's start with synthesis teams. How do they approach this?
So they use these immersive simulation games, like the kids get to take on these big challenges, building intergalactic colonies or running ancient Greek city-states.
Oh, wow. That sounds way more interesting than the history books I had.
I know, right?
So it's a game, but it's more than just a game, right?
Right. These simulations are really complex, and the kids have to work together in teams to figure things out. And here's the really cool part. They're collaborating with other kids from over 50 countries. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So they're learning about strategy and decision making. And they're getting this global perspective all at the same time. So all that sounds amazing. But I got to ask about the elephant in the room here. The cost. These programs, they can be pricey.
Yeah, so Synthesis Teams runs on a monthly subscription model. It's $95 a month.
Okay.
It is an investment. But I think it's important to keep in mind that you're not just paying for access to these games. You're investing in skills that will benefit your child way beyond the classroom. Communication, leadership, adaptability. These are the skills they're gonna need for college, for their careers, just for navigating life in general.
Now, I know a lot of parents listening probably have younger kids. So how does Synthesis Tutor work? And where does the AI come in?
Well, you know how some kids, and let's be honest, some adults too, just get anxious about math. Synthesis Tutor is designed to combat that by turning math learning into a multisensory experience.
Multisensory.
Yeah, so it's not just about staring at numbers on a screen. They incorporate visual elements, interactive games, and these personalized challenges that respond to how each kid is doing.
So it's more like an adventure than a chore. I like that. But what about the AI? Is it like having a robot tutor?
Not quite. The AI is more like a super personalized guide. It adapts to each child's pace and understanding. So if they need extra support, it's there. And if they're ready for a challenge, it gives them more difficult problems.
So it's like having a tutor that can tailor the lesson to your child specifically.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds like a great way to make sure kids don't fall behind or get bored.
And because it's constantly adjusting, it can actually help identify areas where a child might be struggling. And then it can provide targeted practice to help them master those concepts.
So it's not just about getting the right answer. It's about understanding why and feeling confident about it. That's a great foundation for learning.
It really is. And the AI can also provide feedback and track progress in a way that's more engaging for kids than traditional methods. So it feels more like a game than a test.
I'm starting to see why people are so excited about this program. It sounds like they've really thought about how to make learning both effective and fun. But no program is perfect, right? So what are some of the potential downsides of synthesis? What are some things that parents should consider before they jump in?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is screen time. Both synthesis teams and synthesis tutors rely pretty heavily on technology. And while they do try to make it interactive and engaging, it's still screen time.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. Seems like kids are always in front of screens these days. So how can parents make sure it doesn't become too much?
I think it's all about balance. And being mindful of the type of screen time. Is it passive consumption or is it active learning? Synthesis definitely leans towards the active learning side. But it's still something to be aware of. I think it's important to make sure there's plenty of time for offline activities too, like playing outside, reading, things like that.
Yeah, balance is definitely key. What about the social aspect? I know synthesis teams emphasizes collaboration, but does it replace that real-life interaction with other kids?
That's a really great question. And while working with kids from all over the world is an amazing opportunity, online interaction isn't a substitute for face-to-face time with friends and peers.
So encouraging things like play dates and after-school activities And just time spent with friends and family is still really important.
It's about finding that balance between online and offline experiences.
But even if synthesis isn't the right fit for every family, I think it's really exciting to see these kinds of innovative approaches to learning emerging. It shows that people are thinking outside the box
Yeah,
and trying to prepare kids for the future.
I completely agree.
For parents who are intrigued by what synthesis is doing, but maybe not quite ready to commit, are there other programs or resources out there that might offer similar benefits?
Absolutely. The world of educational resources is vast and constantly evolving. So we have to be really intentional about integrating technology in a way that enhances learning, not just replaces traditional methods. I think technology is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's not a magic solution on its own.
So it's not about replacing teachers with robots.
No, not at all. Teachers play such a vital role in creating a supportive and engaging learning environment. Technology can definitely empower teachers with new tools and resources, but it can't replace the human element of education.
To our listeners, we hope this deep dive is giving you some food for thought as you navigate this ever-evolving world of education. Until next time, keep exploring.